What's up, everybody? Chris Jacobs here at the Mecum show in my hometown of Chicago, and it is a very special day for me. Why? Because I'm about to visit with an automotive legend, and what makes it even cooler is that he's going to be taking me through his own personal car, an update on an original design of his. Yes, I'm talking about the iconic 1963 Corvette Split Window Coupe. And you know what? I'm joined by Peter Brock right now. Peter.
Chris, how are you?
Great to see you, man.
Oh, God, it's so cool to be here, especially, what a great show and the opportunity to present my personal car here at the Mecum show. I mean, it doesn't get any better. This is the best show in the country.
It absolutely is. I couldn't agree with you more, man. And I'm a huge fan of the C2 Corvette, especially the 63. And a lot of people don't know that you did the original sketch of the car, and all these years later, you were finally able to refine the car to your own original tastes.
Well, actually, it goes very much back to the original sketch on the car that I did for Bill Mitchell, because, of course, he was the director of design, and I was working for him personally on it, and it was simply my interpretation. He was telling me what he wanted to do. He'd take my work and look at it. I like that, let's do this, let's emphasize that. So the opportunity to go back and do the car exactly the way that I had seen it originally, and it didn't have the compromises that went into it when it went into production. It's been really fun. The interesting thing is that if we look at this car as a modern car that you'd like to design and own today, everything underneath is absolutely modern. So we're working with a Art Morrison chassis underneath, got an LT4 motor in it, 6-speed, Tremec gearbox in it. So from a standpoint of driving the car, it's all of the latest stuff with all the least C7 suspension, brakes, everything that you'd have in a modern car, but you go back and have the traditional form on it. And that's the thing that makes it the most fun to own, is that you can have both the performance and the aesthetics together.
If you were to see this car from 50 feet away, you would probably say, wow, that's a really nice 63 Corvette.
Exactly.
But when you get up close to the car and you start noticing the details, all of those subtle changes that you originally envisioned really come out.
When the guys that own an original C2 split window see the car, they immediately identify with it, and you cannot get away from that, because that form is so well accepted as what it should be that you don't change it. But what we have done on it is gone back and changed all of the details on it to emphasize the form. For example, the bright work around the windows and stuff has been removed so that we look at the form more from the standpoint of being a sculptural piece of art. It doesn't have a lot of chrome on it. Everything is understated to emphasize the form.
Take us through the changes that you made. Let's start in the front and move towards the rear. First of all, the headlights, they've disappeared.
Well, at the time that we put those flip-up headlights in the car, that was the high end of the technology in it. So that's where modern technology has really taken this forward and improved it, is that we could concentrate on the form of the car and use the technology to have both. So again, it's the same thing whether you look at the chassis underneath or the lighting on the car. Everything is to improve the form of the car and the performance.
One of the ways to instantly identify a 63 are these hood vents, which on the original car were non-functional. You've made them functional.
Absolutely. No, when you've got this much horsepower, you're going to have to get some of the heat out of the car, and there's very much the same thing. Everything on the car in terms of the little vents and the slots and the exhaust ports on the side. Here, all of this here originally was just sort of indicated. Now this is all functional. Everything works right from the inside, so all the heat from the engine comes out here. So this is all functional.
And the original design of the car, you actually intended these to be functional, but it was cost prohibitive
Exactly.
to make that during the production run. So what you've done in your re-envisioning of the 63 made those the way that they were originally intended. And then carrying that theme throughout, the side vents here, also functional.
Everything. So that was one of the things that I had a problem with from the standpoint of the production cars, that so many compromises are made in sort of indicating something that is not functional. And to be able to go back and make all of those details that were included in the original design, make them all, everything works on the car. So every slot, whether it be on the hood or on the sides down here or up here, you know, everything is real. There is nothing on the car that is phony.
And something else that a purist might make note of, these vents have actually been moved to make it more aesthetically pleasing, right?
Absolutely. In fact, the whole window design, if you look at it from the standpoint, I moved the windows completely down here, along here, like my original sketches. And there's like a tremendous amount of work in just doing this, you know, the amount of work to go back and change this form and make this go in and align it and put it back. I got to, you know, really thank the fellows that I worked with on this, because they did all of the work on this and interpreted exactly the way I wanted to. And having a team like that do it, it's been always a treat to work with those guys.
And Peter, of course, one of the hallmarks of the C2 is that iconic spine that runs down the roofline all the way into the tail section here. And immediately, a purist would know that this is a much more accentuated spine. What was the idea behind that?
Well, the whole thing is, you know, originally the split window thing came from the Bugatti Atlantique 57 SC. And that car had a real distinct, you know, split with a high fin on it. But that's not practical production, because it's very, very complicated to do little thin lines on it. So to go back and do that on this automobile shows you how special this particular set of lines is.
And finally, Peter, the wheels. What a great homage to the original Kelsey Hayes.
Aren't they great wheels? I mean, we're going up to much larger brakes for the whole chassis and everything, so we have to enlarge the size of the wheel to put better brakes and stuff on it. But again, it's the whole theme, again, is to reinterpret it more in a modern way. So it's a higher, you know, diameter on it and wider with a bigger tire on it to be able to put that horsepower on the ground. So you've got both the performance and the aesthetics on it, and it really adds to it. And I love the blue line on it, you know, to pick it up.
Yes.
And, you know, it's very, very subtle, but look at all the blue on the inside here. Every space on the inside is picking up the blue on it. So with those little accent colors in there, you know, you don't appreciate it until you walk around and look at it. These are the small details that make the car so interesting. For example, if you look at the way the exhaust thing is covered up, if you look at an automobile, the light, when it hits the car, goes in and you have a heavy shadow underneath the car. So if you interpret this as shadow and it drops into the shadow, you end up in looking at this much of the form, and it thins the whole car out.
I think something also people might not notice until it's pointed out is the deletion of the vent window.
Isn't that great? You know, I mean, again, simplifying the overall design by getting rid of the, you know, the B-pillar at this point here, just sticking here. It thins everything out again, expands the amount of transparency on it, makes the cockpit more open on it.
And it works because with the enlargement of the rear window,
right,
it's kind of a seamless transition into the large door windows.
And you really appreciate that when you're driving the car. I mean, it's a whole different experience inside. It's much lighter and you can see better. Same thing with the mirrors on the car. This is something that really I learned so much on racing cars, is to have the mirrors really outside where you've got a vision at this angle, not straight back, but you're back, so you can see when you're inside, you see a far greater expansion on it.
All the little details. And finally, Peter, a word about the color. This is not a stock Corvette color.
No, this is Azzurro California. This is an original Ferrari color, actually, and I admire all Ferrari that I saw. I said, that color would really work great on this car. So when you look at the way the light falls across this particular color on it, and it accentuates the form, you know, from the highlight lines and going into the shadow on it, it really has done so much for the form on it. So it's a really successful color on the car. Whoever ends up this car, you know, from tomorrow or 10 or 100 years from today, this is the personal interpretation of what the car should have been.
Peter Brock,
Great, Chris.
thank you so much for telling us about your amazing custom car. And you know what the best part is? You are gonna have a chance to own this car because it will be crossing the Mecum auction block in Kissimmee, January 2026.
And I'll be there to help sell it for you.
Get your bidder's badge ready.